Palworld, a game many know as Pokemon with guns, but really, to me, the game feels more like Digimon with Pokeballs. I mean, look at it. When in Pokemon will your characters shoot Pokemon in the face? There are far more guns in Digimon than Pokemon. Digimon grow with friendship, and the show's a very important mechanic here. So, for my first challenge run into this game, I decided that I would attempt it with the elemental type that got me started into this game, Fire. Why? Because Fox Spark is just the cutest thing ever. I want all the Fox Spark, and I am not sharing. One more thing, because of how long this challenge turned out to be, I will be dividing it into two parts. The first part will be until the Tower of the Pal Genetic Researches, and part 2 will be from there until the end. Now we are clear, here are the rules. Only pals of the fire type. Only weapons allowed are melee weapons, makeshift weapons, and tools. No duplicate piles. Unless used for breeding, only fire piles can be used as base piles. Also, here are the challenges settings. As usual, I write my script as I go along with my run, meaning I have no idea if this run will be easy or hard. Also, because of the new EXP rate with 1.0 being too high, I will be lowering XP gain to 0.7 and might adjust it as I progress the run. Starting the run, I create the character to be as close to my avatar as possible, even though I am to suffer having legs. Ugh, what a disgrace. Using these ape-like legs of mine, truly disgusting how they move, I carry myself toward the NPC and begin collecting resources, like any sane human would by punching trees and boulders with my bare hands until I finally am prompted to craft my path spheres. Looking around, I find a foxpark roaming around and throw a sphere at her, catching her first try and naming her Sparky. Now, from this point on, I will be using favorites this way. 1 means they are party viable, meaning the first pal of a species I caught. 2 means they're base viable, meaning any subsequent pal of a species I catch. I enter my first dungeon right after, but I'm quickly weighted down by all the items I am carrying, so I turn back and build myself a base right outside the dungeon to store my resources before deciding to see if a fair pile is trapped inside the Syndicate scam. But I'm quickly forced to run after taking over half my health in damage and losing Sparky. With Sparky down for the next 10 minutes, I decided I would start collecting surrounding resources and complete a few main quest objectives such as releasing the KO Sparky into the base and eating a berry. With the resources and Sparky still down a little longer, I craft a shield and cook some berries. Increasing my base level, I then go on a catching spree to gain a few levels. Now, I will not mention every little things I do for the rest of the episode. Do not worry, I will only do this for the early levels of the run. After crafting myself my clothes, I go back inside the dungeon only to find out it was a single room dungeon without any enemies, so I go back out and resume my capture spree. Back at base, I build myself a Foxparks harness so I can finally use Sparky at full power, getting revenge on the Syndicate bastards and freeing Doomwood. But I also forget this game is not Elden Ring, as I jump over one of the raiders' head trying to do a jump attack. While out to collect resources to create more spheres, I encounter a nest and decided to attempt burning it. Only to be reminded I am still low level and on hard mode. While Sparky was recovering, I took the opportunity to finally go to the desolate church and use my effigies, something I will do as I go along on this run. Reaching the starting town, I finally obtained my 10th level, so I think it is time I explain my early game stats. As you can see, my stats are divided between health, weight, and stamina. Because I'm taking double damage, it is important that I keep a good amount of health, but I also need to be able to carry a lot being alone and avoid attacks, so weight and stamina also received a few points. While still in town, I take the opportunity to sell all non-fire type pals for a profit. I then decided to try the dungeon right by the town's dock. I managed to get all the way to the boss. I even tried the old technique of going back to respawn a new boss with no luck. attempted my luck against the Thief Ant, but being a water pal against my single Sparky, I could not go head to head. I tried ducking it, but it only kept coming closer until I was forced to try and move past him, causing me my first loss of this run. I wanted to try again, but quickly lost Sparky against the new boss. I think I might need a new party member before I try again. While waiting for Sparky to recover, I head out in search of a Tenzi Ignis, and I'm lucky enough to find one right away, but also get it on the first try. After deliberation, I decided to call him Autumn based on his coloration. Does it ever happen to you to wonder how the fuck did I get here? I was out looking for a ruby, but the next thing I know, I'm in another biome catching some dudes in Cineram and I'm pursued to the top of a tower. Yes, this is why some videos take longer because I easily get distracted. By the way, I might Cineram Baphomet. She's sickly, but this is only an issue for rideable pals, of which she is not. This time, without getting distracted, I catch not one, but two rubies. Why called Fluffy? Because of the fluffy tail. Okay, hear me out. I know this might sound insane, but I made my way to the volcano hoping on maybe catching a pal or two with very low odds. Wish me luck. Insane or not, I was the one getting out of this mess with a bunch of eggs and a Wixen called Blaze to boot. For those of you curious, here is my map showing you where I went while on the volcanic island. At level 15, I finally make my first attempt against Zoe. A rather enjoyable fight, though I expected it to be slightly harder. With one tower down and the incubator requiring ancient civilization parts, I challenge Alpha Orzox to a fight, only for him to prove more of a challenge than Zoe. And here are the balls obtained from the eggs I obtained on the volcanic island. Amongst the new pals, I have Flaming Ram the Arsox, Arsonist the Least Punkingness, and Ragnarok the Ragnahawk. My next goal was to obtain my Essence Condenser, meaning I would need to fight a few bosses to get the ancient parts. First is Pinking. Normally I would avoid water pals, but his ice element made him neutral to my fire pals. When I was heading to fight the Chillet, I encountered a Depresso nest who attacked me on sight but granted me my final ancient piece. Allowing me to create my condenser. My first condensation is Sparky. Now I will need to collect a lot more pals so I can begin condensations, though it is not something I will show beyond this point. I decided to still take on Shillet as I would need his resources later on, level me up to 20. The game seems to think I am ready to face Lily, so here are my stats. The fight was harder than Zoe, but still manageable with my current party, especially given Lillian is a grass pal, which is weak to fire. While roaming around the volcano, I obtained an egg with a blaze hull I named Manticore. Not long after I got a Kelpsignis I named Likeness Monsti, as well as a Bushy from an egg I named Sam. Then I went into town and I bought myself my first makeshift weapon along with 666 course ammo. While out heading towards the desert city, I managed to nab myself a nice makeshift assault rifle schematic along with the schematic of one of my final accessories, Reptiro's Charm. Now, at this point, I just want to mention, while I show the bosses only, it doesn't mean I encounter no difficulty outside those fights. But if I were to mention all the hardship I encountered, the video wouldn't be done before the heat death of the universe. Also, most of them come from level difference, not because I only use Fire Pals, but one I have to mention after dying in a dungeon. Bucket Pear, I love you. But who was a fucking pea-brain who decided to have my inventory dropped into lava if I lose inside a dungeon? At this point, I have spent more time recovering my inventory than progressing the run, so I will remove inventory drop on death for both my sanity and so I can end this run someday. While I was lucky and did not encounter any, there are still collision issues leading to getting stuck underground. While scaling the volcano, I was attacked by a veinworm I captured and made into my flying mount. I did not have any idea for a name this time, so I left it to veinworm for now. Also, he has the pacifist passive, which might become an issue later on. And then, after opening another series of eggs, I got Reptiro, Pirin, Flambell, Gopfin Ignis, and last but absolutely not least, Blasmut who I name Behemoth. Then, using the power of letting my enemies hit each other in the face, I catch a Muldron. I name him Volcaniacrus. I play on Monster Hunter's Logaricrus and Volcano. And now, using Volcaniacrus, I went and captured the Alpha Wixen. We need to talk about the boost gun. Now, some of you might consider it a weapon because it can deal damage at a bit very low and has the word gun in its name. Personally, I view it as a tool because its usage is not meant for damaging pals, but to increase your own pal's effectiveness, meaning it is legit in this run. Feeling confident at level 27, I decide to attempt Axel in the next tower. Axel proved slightly harder than Lily, even with my two Fireground pals, but it was still a first try. Now with the third tower down, my main objective before going to the fourth tower is getting myself a handful of lavenders for the kicks so I can finally begin breeding fire pals. In between hunts, I went and fought the Veiled boss. Too bad I couldn't catch it. I even went and completed a few dungeons too. Here I was minding my business and I get a raid delivery of lavenders. Don't mind me. Feeling bold and maybe a little overconfident after my victory, I went and fought the Alpha Memorist. Not feeling satisfied with my bloodshed, I commit regicide against the tyrannical King Pekka who almost crushed two precious foxparks. After yet another night of catching, butchering, and not getting cake, I realized the drop rate is far too low to be reliable. I might require another way of getting these cakes. And so I decided it was finally time to fish, which I did, getting a few dumoods, until I finally got what I was here for, fwackiness. I of course named him Teapot, because of his jewel, fire, and water. He is perfect for boiling tea. Right as I was crafting my new armor, an ammo merchant arrived at my base. Given I had all the ammo I needed inside the villages, I attacked him and was marked as wanted. But I could confirm that hiding inside a dungeon does work out fine to get rid of the wanted status. And now, after all this time, I finally built my first and only source of electricity in this entire game. Yes, you heard me right. There are no fire pals with the ability to generate electricity. While on the subject, there are also no fire pals with the planting skill, meaning any form of automation in this run is impossible. Easiest supply drop ever! These guys let me steal their shit. And finally, I have my first accessory, the attack support whistle. And finally, my very first bread pal, Scutlass Ignis. At this point, I realize my EXP rate is getting slower by the level, causing me to rapidly lose in speed. At this rate, I would need to play Palworld all nights every night so I can finish it my usual 2 weeks limit. So instead, I have decided I would increase the XP rate to 100%. Now with an EXP rate that won't have me molt every night, I went and captured a Suzaku, as he will be required for breeding the final pal in my party. But that is something for much later. Level 36, I feel ready to attempt my 4th tower. So after one attempt, here are the results. I will let you see the fight, then I will explain my train of thoughts. So, as you could see, this fight is not an issue of me being bad, but simply my pals not dealing enough damage overall. I probably could win if I'd give them water elemental moves or gave them heals, but I want to keep them as vanilla as possible until it is absolutely required. Plus, this is just a mid-game fire elemental boss. There are bosses I will be fighting soon that will be far more difficult. So this one, I want to stay as many as possible, so I will leave him for a higher level. So I had a plan to get a powerful new pal, but first I needed a Walaska. My first idea was to catch one. It did not go as planned, but have you heard a bell? Cause I sure didn't. Next was breeding one. I have 1,000 hours of breeding into this game. I am not shy from waiting a few minutes for two pals to get it on. And now with the fucking done? Wait a minute, that's not a Walaska. The wiki lied to me. No, wait, it didn't. I was too horny to read the full line. What, did you think I was only going to watch? Alright, final plan, fishing. The one I trust least. I caught one munchill, but I suck too much at fishing to catch anything else. I blame their stupid legs. Human legs suck at swimming, while beautiful snake coils are perfect for swimming. You humans suck. You should try evolving into snakes next time. Well, Walaska was a failure, so time for Plan Triple S. Superior Snake Sex. Now get in there, you perverts, and fuck some snakes into existence. A few minutes later, I have a Yermintide. If you are curious, favorite tree means they're breeders. Because I needed a male and a Buzz Blaze Hall was available, I decided to try and capture it. After many spheres wasted, I finally did it. Only for it to be female. And then, just to annoy me even more, some ass decided to try and extort money from me in exchange of not being attacked. I shot that asshole. Alright. Oh, I saw some fox sparks in the distance and felt this was worth my while more. Having no luck getting a male blaze howl, I decided to focus on EXP and went to the Terraria's area to gain a bit of EXP. I will not allow use of Terraria equipment or pals, but I can still go there for money and EXP. At level 46, I decided I would finally complete the tower. It wasn't too hard, so here is a shortened version of the fight. You already had the full 5 minutes of attempt 1. The fight was more of the same, only with higher damage numbers on my path. And right as I come out of the tower, I get stuck inside the terrain. See why I stopped the whole dropping my shit on death? I'm the mother of all bugs. level 47, I am feeling confident to try the next tower, even if the game says it's for level 48 and above. I am feeling rebellious. Ha! I was right! Fuck you, fuck your preconceived notions, and fuck that stupid chicken, even if it's an awesome black chicken, first try! This I will end part 1 of my Fire Pals only run. Right now the automation is really bad. I don't even have the assembly line. I am very far from making any good accessories, and I am yet to get a male blaze hall to get my Yermantide in this, which I might give up on, but we'll see. For now, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for when part 2 will come out. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Forest fires are great, aren't they? What? What do you mean they're not? Damn, here I thought that they were the peak of human humor. What with global warming the way it is going, 14,000 deaths in Europe from 2026's heat waves, increases in forest fires, the ice cap melting leading to a rise of water levels. Could also go on about the countless incoming issues this will create, such as mass migrations from countries becoming inevitable, extreme weather, and so on. Instead, if you wish for your world to survive, remember that if everyone takes a single step at a time together, you will make enormous changes. Here are a few easy ones. Lower your energy consumption. Instead of using your car, use public transport or even walk. Throw less food away and compost your leftovers. Grow more plants, preferably native ones. These are only a few things you can do to help the environment recover. Far more can be found through simple searches online. And if you refuse, well, humanity shall die and we monsters shall thrive in your place in an age of monsters, free from your genocides and pollution.